In this video, I'll be replacing the left rear plastic bumper cover on a Porsche 944. The 944 features two bumper covers integrated into the aluminum bumper at the rear of the car, one on either side, and they serve to transition the bumper into the lower side body panels. Each bumper cover is secured on one end by two mounting studs that are built into the plastic molding, and one mounting stud on the other end that is attached to the rubber bumper pad. In order to remove the bumper cover, you'll need to loosen or remove the three 10mm nuts on the rubber bumper pad so that there's room to clear the curved section at the end, as well as remove the two 8mm nuts on the other side of the plastic cover. Due to their location on the car, these fittings are prone to oxidation, so you may need to apply some penetrating oil to avoid breaking the studs. This car has some paint damage on the left bumper cover where it's cracked and delaminating. The car has a few other minor dings here and there as well, but this is the worst of it, which is why I'll be working to repair it. I was quoted just over $200 to have the cover repainted at a local body shop, some of which was labor to have the part removed along with the sanding and prepping of the damaged surface. But based upon the extent of the delamination and the fact that one of the mounting studs has actually separated from the plastic molding, I decided to purchase a replacement cover that was in better overall condition. I picked this one up on eBay for $40 because the studs are in great shape and the paint surface is a lot cleaner. So I'm hoping for some minimal prep, a color match, and a repaint at the body shop, and that way I'll be able to simply swap out the parts with less concern over the condition of the existing part. Because the paint on this car is a silver metallic color, the best way to approach this would be to paint the bumper cover on the car and blend it across the adjoining body panels. But because this car has already had a full respray earlier in its life, so it's not the original paint, it's more of a driver, and I don't really want to replace the rear decal at this point. I'm choosing to keep the cost low and paint just the cover itself, so it probably won't be a perfect match, but the paint will be fresh and crack-free, and that's what I'm going for. So let's go ahead and remove the cover here and take it in for some paint. Once the 10mm nuts are removed from the studs connecting the rubber bumper pad, the pad can be pulled straight off the bumper. Just make sure to collect the large metal washers for reinstallation. These bumper pads aren't very flexible as there's a steel bar that runs through the center of the pad, which retains the pad's shape and acts as a framework for the mounting studs. Over time, the rubber grommets around the studs can shrink and allow water to come in contact with the metal bracket, and given enough exposure to the elements, the studs can rust and break. So I'll probably fill these crevices with some silicone sealer before reinstalling the bumper pad. With the pad out of the way, the 8mm nuts can be removed from the studs on the bumper cover, and then the cover will simply slide off the end of the bumper. Here's a closer look at the two bumper covers. The original one is pretty busted up. It looks like something impacted here, pushed in the plastic, cracked the paint, and broke the top mounting stud in the process. This is painted in Zermatt silver metallic, and the replacement piece appears to be glacier metallic due to its bluish tint. Glacier metallic was available as a special color on the 944 from 1989 to 1991, and as you can see, the studs are in great shape and the surface is smooth, so it should take minimal effort to prep it for paint. About a week later, I was able to pick up the freshly painted bumper cover from the body shop. Because the original part was so old, they ended up stripping the surface back to the plastic and prepped it from the ground up, and as a result, the finish turned out great. I had given them the factory paint code and was told that it didn't take too much trouble getting it dialed in. The color match is really close, and the total came to $180, so I was pretty happy about that. In preparation for the parts installation, I cleaned up the mounting studs on the bumper pad with a wire wheel, and I filled in all the cracks with some silicone. I also mocked up the placement of the bumper cover to check for fitment and made a small adjustment to the seam that acts as a mounting bracket to eliminate some gap between the two pieces. The parts will be installed in the reverse order, starting with the cover, so once it's all lined up, all you need to do is install and tighten the two 8mm nuts. Next up is the rubber bumper pad, where the studs are inserted into the notches in the aluminum bumper. These notches allow the pad to be slid from side to side for proper alignment, so once all the hardware is in place and the 10mm nuts are hand tight, the pad can be adjusted so that the notch in the curved edge aligns with the edge of the plastic bumper cover. With the bumper pad properly aligned, you can tighten down the three nuts, check the fitment, and adjust as necessary. Overall, the new bumper cover looks great, and fortunately nothing else broke during the process, so I was able to clean up the appearance of the car a little bit while keeping costs at a reasonable level.